Oh, hi and everyone, how are you all doing today? And welcome back to another Rabbit Rambles. Usually we have a sort of follow-up to the last one from back in March, I think? Yeah, I think so. Anyways, we are talking about more of what is being called Gamergate 2 or something. I think that's the term that has been being used for it, so yeah, let's go with that. So, let's see, what was it? A few days ago? I think yesterday or the day before that. Whole thing with Xbox presentations and all that. It doesn't matter. There were some decent games from what I've seen. I haven't really looked in depth into it. I was busy with other things, so anyways, first of all, I want to say here right now, this video is probably going to contain some swearing and cussing that you're not used from me, mostly not from me, so let's take that. I still don't like doing that without good reason, and it's personal preference, no reason for anything else. I just don't like it personally, but there will be some, and my apologies for that. So if you're not don't like that, take a step back or just try to bear with it, I guess. Anyways, what became of what happened on the giant bomb couch, from what I understand it was. What happened there is Alyssa Mercante, a writer and editor for Kotaku, pretty much went on a small little tirade about, diversity in gaming and how she thinks about people that have an issue with it. Now, I personally think that, as much as I hate to say it after that, seeing that rant of hers, she has a point in that, yeah, there should be more diversity and people should not be stepping back from that. We do need more of that, and it can be done really well, and we have had examples of that in the past where it was done really well. The problem is Miss Mercante doesn't, I hope that's how you pronounce it, by the way, but isn't really about doing it in a good way. It's about doing it in her way, and that is kind of like, yeah. The thing is, I think video game, and like most forms of entertainment, needs to have creativity and the freedom to do that. And just saying like, well, I don't like this kind of creativity, and we need to do it in a different way. Yeah, let's not do that. Actually, before we go further, let's see the clip that I'm talking about. So, it should go up. Okay.
You know what I want? What you really, really want? I want people in the industry to be a little bit louder about people being mean to other people, and maybe say it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe say we don't want you around if you're gonna be a cunt.
Yeah.
And hateful, and that the games industry is diverse naturally, not because anyone's making them be diverse, because the world is diverse, you stupid motherfucker. And if you have a problem with that, come fight me. Physically, bitch.
Has anyone taken you up on that yet?
No, because they're all pussies.
Yep.
Yeah. So, she pretty much went on stage and challenged an issue to all her opponents in a debate to physically fight her. I have to wonder, has she ever grown past high school in mentality? Because where I live, you don't settle arguments by fighting. And you talk about it, and if you don't get out of it, you say, hey, guess what? We agree to disagree. That's how most civilized people do it. Apparently she isn't. Now, would I take her up on the challenge? No way. Not because I couldn't beat her, probably. I have a pretty good suspicion that I could. But what's in it for me? Absolutely nothing. I beat her, and what? Oh wow, I beat a woman. Yeah, that's not going to make any arguments I make any better. And most likely this is how she's going to spit it anyways. Like, I will say of the things that I think will happen based on how people are going to react on this. Any man that is going to react on this will be called a misogynist that is now taking the chance to beat up a woman to silence her. And anyone that isn't a man will be called a pick-me for trying to beat up a woman that is disagreeing with men. That is how this is going to be spun, and I'm not being a part of it. Would I want to talk with her about it? Sure, why not? I mean, You need to give everyone a chance. She might be, when she's not online, might be a really nice person. I don't know. I only know her from what I've seen from her online, and she seems to be an absolute, as she calls herself, an absolute bitch. Because she thinks she's everything that, yeah. As I said, never grown out of high school behavior. As you can see, I have something over here as well, a nice quote from her. As you can see, the major difference of some of us find hot and what others find hot is that some of us actually have sex. That is such a freaking high school level argument. Well, I have sex, so I'm better. Like, I get where she's hinting at. There are incels that are absolutely, yeah, that need to, that probably would be better off not taking another breath, maybe, but let's not talk about that too much. There are people that are absolutely don't have sex and are better off never procreating anyway, because they're absolute waste of life, to be honest. But I can agree to that extent. But the thing is, it pretty much comes down to, oh, you don't like what I have to say, so that means you are a horrible person. No, it doesn't. Like, your argument, I've literally been looking for, and our argument pretty much comes down to, it has to be like what I like, or else it's not good and it shouldn't exist. That's pretty much her entire argument. It has to fit her standards and of those around her. And as I laid out in the previous video that I made on this topic, I don't agree. You can have a Project Eve or a Stellar Blade, right here, Stellar Blade. You can have a Stellar Blade next to, let's see, what was it that she really was into? Right, Hades 2. No problem, those two can coexist. If you don't like stuff, go play something else. I mean, that is how a hobby should work. If you don't like something, you step away from it and do something else in it. Like, if you don't like to play competitive, sports competitively, you don't like to go to the actual matches, but you like to take practice in practice, hey, go practice with friends or something. Play at the park. And don't play the competitive. Don't go to a competitive match and say, boo, this should be banned, I don't like it. That's absolutely so. I honestly don't get that mindset where, oh, I don't agree with this, so it should not exist. I could not live that way, because that's actually going straight against the message that she's trying to send here. She wants diversity in gaming. Okay, good. But diversity in gaming also means that there should be actually options for that diversity. Just because certain things are not the diverse in the way you want it to be, doesn't mean that they are not diverse. I mean, if you make anything a standard that, oh, it has to be this, it has to be that, it has to that, it has to have that, it becomes boring really quick. And you see that with a lot of media nowadays, where, hey, we want to have all the checkboxes checked, and then by the end you have a 4-hour movie that could have been 2 hours, but they had to go past all the checkboxes. As I said, I don't mind diversity, but it needs to be done right. And it has been done right. And it can still be done right. It just doesn't need to be forced into it, or at least forced into it badly, because that is what a lot of this issue is. A lot of the issue comes from that it is done in a horrible way. It has to fit a certain standard that's set by, I guess, Northern American standards, I guess? Not even that, because there's plenty of Americans that are against it, but a certain set of Northern American standards, I guess? Oh, wow. So North America is going to police the entire entertainment. Oh, wow. I mean, that's nothing new, I guess. Good thing I'm not living there, but different story altogether. The thing is like what I said, diversity is a good thing. We need more diversity, and it can be like put into it, but it can be done in a decent way. You can have. There are plenty of games that I have played in the past where a main character is not the standard white cis straight head. I'm making the wrong name here. Not the standard white straight cis male, and people loved it because it had a good story, it had good gameplay, the characters were nice, the artwork for it was nice. No problem. But if you start doing it with where you put in a character that is absolutely obnoxious, That is just where the entire story is pretty much pointing at you and being like, you as the player are a horrible person because of a thing you have absolutely no control over. But we are going to say that I'm not doing that. I am not going to play a game like that is constantly making me feel like shit. Because I have been there. I have had that people calling me that I have been pretty much said that everything was my fault simply because someone else existed. I am not doing that. I am not going to be apologetic for someone else's deeds. I'm not going to apologize for someone else's words. I'm not going to apologize for someone else. It's that simple. And if a game or a movie or something else wants me to feel guilty about it, fuck that! Seriously, fuck that! Because I am not going to feel guilty over something that I haven't done. I'm responsible for my own actions, I'm responsible for my own words, and I'm responsible for my own deeds. It's that simple. And I'm also willing to take accountability for it, but I'm not going to be told by someone on the other side of the world that, well, this is something you had absolutely no control over, but since you are somewhat similar to a person that did do it, you have to take accountability. No way, Jose. Ciao. Not doing that. Go climb up a tree and yell about it or something, because I absolutely not going to do that. I'm not going to be responsible for something for someone else. And as I said, if a piece of media wants me to do that, yeah, fuck that piece of media. It's that simple. Now, what for following up with that, what I think is the problem is not even that it's the media, it's what is being shown or anything, because it's about the control behind it. That's really it. Because as you saw in that screenshot that I showed, let's put it back up here. She pretty much is saying here, hey, I had sex, I should be the one to determine what's hot or not in video games. That is how you can interpret it. It might be some other way, I might be making assumptions here, but that is how you can interpret it. And what is that other than being just a control freak that, hey, I only want to see things that I like and I want to have full control over it. So, if that is the thing here, then yeah, I think there is a bigger issue at hand here. And I will say this, there is a big issue at hand, because over the last 5 years or so, a lot of at least gaming media related stuff has been shutting down. We had Wired shutting down. Pretty recently, Feminist Frequency, I think, was by Anita Sarkeesian, I think, was shut down because she was done with it. Or so she said. But a lot of the funding for stuff like that is moving up. And like recently, several European outlets were bought up by IGN. I actually think Giant Bomb was one of them, actually. I might be wrong on that, but so a lot of these companies are going up. The funding is drying up, and it's getting desperate to actually be like, oh hey, we matter, yes we do, we still matter. And because honestly, Kotaku has been going on a downhill way as well. Back in the middle of March, I think, there was also came out reports that Kotaku wanted to shift gears and to go back into instead of reporting and more into guide making and all that. And there was a big huffy from the people working there, because how would a gaming website want to be about games, you know? I think that is also part of it. It's her outburst at the moment from Alisa here pretty much is spurring outrage to try and get people to watch Kotaku more. Get more of that sweet ad revenue, and hope it doesn't go under, because she's having a nice time there, just spewing her nonsense and getting paid for it. And boy, and considering how much other similar companies are going under, she might actually have to go into a place of work where she might not have the same influence as she currently has. So I think that might be an ulterior motive there for why she's doing what she's doing lately. Now, as for her challenge, honestly, any people that are seeing this, and if you want to, just don't go into it. Don't respond to it. Just be like, nah, just let it be. She's not worth it. The only thing that you have absolutely nothing to gain from it. This is pretty much, she gains everything from it because she gets the exposure. She gets to write again about, look at how these people that want to beat me up. Oh, boo-hoo, woe is me, even though I put out the challenge myself. And overall, what is really the point of trying with that? I mean, as I said at the start of this video, there is absolutely no point in going in for that fight with it because there is absolutely nothing to gain from it. You're not winning the argument. You are not making a point, and the only thing you're showing is that if you win, you managed to beat her up, and if you lose, you got beaten up. It's a 0-win thing for anyone that's taking the challenge, and all the wins for her. So don't give into it. Just let it be. Be like, make fun of it, maybe. That's also kind of too much. Yeah, I know I'm being hypocrite here because I'm talking about it and all that, but it was just something that has been building up. I have been kind of annoyed with how she has been presenting herself on the internet. As I said, I don't know her in person. I have no desire to meet her in person at the moment. Maybe I would like to debate or something about the stuff because, as I said, I am not opposed to that what she's saying, that people should be nicer in video games, or that there is a need for more diversity. I just don't agree with the way she wants things to go. And that is my main issue with it, because she is essentially wants to take away the freedom of creativity from the medium and replace it with a set standard by a rather elite class of people who do think that they are better than anyone. Because you have seen that post, you've seen how she talks about people. You're all losers because you don't have sex like her, even though the majority of people nowadays that are identifying as gamers are married, have kids, generally have a pretty good home, and if they don't, going on, it's just a stupid argument. This is just such a desperate attempt to stay relevant. That's it. That's all it is. It's nothing more than a desperate attempt for her to stay relevant and show the investors, look, Kotaku is still relevant. I am still relevant. Give us money, please. Don't shut us down. Now, what I was been saying is about diversity and all that. I still stand by it. I fully support diversity, but I also think it needs to be done in a good way. Like, I have watched what was it? That Square Enix failure. Question. I forgot the name of it. It was that stuck out. Forspoken. The main issue that it failed was because the dialogue was badly written. The main character was an absolutely obnoxious piece of bad writing. Let's put it that way. Because she just no. The dialogue, as I said, that is part of the dialogue, of course. Because if the dialogue is badly written for a character, so it was just badly written. And if that makes my main character an absolute obnoxious character, yeah, people are not going to like it. There are plenty of other characters that I don't like, and the majority of them are actually male characters, so it's not even like it's a thing for, oh no, you hate women. No, I hate just obnoxious characters. Kirito, Sword Art Online, one of my most hated characters in fiction. I just absolutely despise the guy, simply because... and that's just the one on top of my head. That's where a lot of things come from, because... Now, I also don't think that everything should be filtered with a lens of political. That is, I don't know, it's really something USA thing. We don't have that over here, and over here, when it comes to these social issues, I think I mentioned it last time as well, we are quite a bit ahead of what the US is still going through. You guys are really a backwater when it comes to these social issues. Like, get with the times, man. We are like at least 2 decades ahead of you. So it's a weird thing, because for us, a lot of the things that is what you guys are like, oh wow, this needs to be followed, is normal. That's why I am like, Okay, I get it. It needs to be there, but it needs to be. That's the entire thing. It needs to be normalized. If you make a game and you put in, I don't know, person of color, that's LGBT, and I don't know, put in all the labels that you want. Put all the labels that you want on the main character. You can still make an incredibly great character. But the moment you start pushing it, oh wow, this is the first game with this, that, you are pushing so many buttons already because you're already saying, well, this game is for these kind of people, and everyone, and you see this term being used, huh? It's not for the typical gamer. Okay, so the typical gamers won't be buying it because you are literally saying, hey, don't buy it, it's not for you. And that is, why are you doing that? You're literally, like, it's so stupid. Games like these can work. I mean, look at freaking Samus Aran. She has been in gaming icon since the 80s. When she first appeared, she appeared as a robot, and unless you beat the game in within a certain time, you would never have known that she was a woman. When it was discovered that she was a woman, people still love her. People didn't mind her. Okay, sure, the first Metroid, she didn't talk. But that was limitation of the console. She now had several where she has started getting dialogue, actually had a voice, and people still love her. Why? Because she is pretty well written. Okay. Let's forget Other M right now, because Other M was a disaster. But you have game series where there will be disasters like that. But she is still liked, and she was one of the first playable female characters. I hate saying female. One of the first playable women. There, that's better. There was playable. One of the first playable women that was playable. Yeah, that's a good sentence, Ina. That's a good sentence. I can see I'm rambling here, right? Well, it's a ramble, so. But she was one of the first playable women in video games. So there might have been others, but the first playable woman that was actually identified as could actually be identified as a woman through all the pixels and all that. And people still love her to today. And there are plenty of other characters that are still well loved, from either series that are still ongoing, series that are dead at this point, or series that are in development. Will Eve from Stellar Blade make a giant splash? As it stands now, yeah, maybe? I don't know. I mean, it seems kinda like she's kinda there, but not really. Like, most of it is about the whole thing that has been happening around Stellar Blade, so at this point I think that might be a bigger detractor than a pro for her, but she might be, depending on how Shift Up is going to handle that. But Shift Up does know how to market this stuff. I think Destiny Shout is still running. Nikkei is still doing really well. So I think whoever is in charge of their PR and marketing there knows what they are doing. And that's the thing here. Okay, sure, these are bad examples, to be honest, because Nikkei and Destiny Shout really run high on fan service. But there are plenty of other games that don't, and they can still work. But you need to. The people that are writing it need to do better, and that isn't going to be helped by hiring a council team that adds 20 people to the writing process. Let a good writer do his thing, and you get good work. Don't let a good writer do his thing and then get 20 other people involved that telling him how things are wrong. What you can do is get a good writer to do good work, have a proofreader go over it, and then have it rewritten, and then be done with it. Maybe. And that's even enough. Not every. That's the thing here. Not everyone is a good writer. Sure, you can become one, but it takes practice. You need to get there eventually. And a lot of these people, for example, the CEO of Sweet Baby. Let's bring that up because she has had ambitions for writing and all that. She has said it in that 2019 stuff where she was on that game development panel, and that's cool, absolutely cool. If she was good on it, fine. But apparently, from what she has told herself, she wasn't good at it. Sure, she shifts the blame over to people not appreciating her because they are all racist. Yeah, I've heard those excuses before. She is good at marketing apparently because she has a degree in it, but that doesn't mean that she is automatically good at writing. And yet she wants to be a narrative counselor for games. Stick to your own lane when it comes to what you're good at. But these people like to think they are good at everything and want to have a hand into everything. And that's what I mean, what I said earlier. It's about control. They want to control the narrative of what's going on, and that's why they hate certain studios like Shifter, for example, or other studios that still haven't fallen for their bullshit that is going on with where they have to hire this and that, because or why they hate indie games so much. Like Palworld, as much as I don't like Palworld was also criticized for what it did, even though it was highly popular. And why was it highly popular? Because it was something that gave people what they wanted. And that's what it's about. Games, as an entertainment medium, are a product that you need to sell to consumers. And if consumers are not interested in buying, guess what? You're not going to get that money. And that is where the entire problem comes from. If you are pushing your consumers away because of some high moral belief that you think that, oh hey, I want to do this and that, okay, go ahead. But don't come complaining that, well, thanks to you not buying my stuff, I'm not getting money, and now I need to close the studio, and all these developers that were working for me are now out of a job. You make that decision. You made it into what it was, and that's why it happens. Now, I know some people like to throw around that everything is political and that you just need to get with the time. Thing is, I don't believe so. You can make everything political, but it's something you need to opt into. And if you don't opt into it, hey, guess what? Nothing is political unless you want it to be. And now I know the reaction to it. Well, not making everything political is a choice that is already political in nature. No, it is not. The thing is, opting out should be the default. That should be the state that you are currently in, and if you want to have a say in something, hey, go for it. If you don't want to say into it, hey, live your life the way you want to. But that's the thing. The people that want to make things political, or say that everything is political, again, have a stake in it, because it's something they are interested in, first off, otherwise they wouldn't be doing it. But secondly, most of the time, the stake they have in it is something that has an influence on them. Whether it's like, oh, I prefer this and this kind of character in my video games, or I prefer this and this kind of storytelling, or I prefer this of this. Or if it's something really simple like, well, I don't like these kind of games and I prefer other kinds of games. That if you have, the moment you are doing something with an ulterior motive, or that's something you have a stake in, your opinion already kinda loses a fair bit of its argument behind it, because you are already at that point starting to become a bad faith actor, because you are acting in bad faith because you have an ulterior motive for it. Now, I think people, I don't like being talking like this so much about something like this, but it's just really been grinding my gears lately. So, can't think people like, yeah, as I said, it should be an opt-in thing. If someone likes to play video games after they finish an 8-hour day of heavy labor, yeah, they should be able to come back, sit down, pick up a controller, and play a video game just for entertainment without having to think about, oh, wow, this is so deep, this is so political. But apparently that is not allowed, because if you are not thinking about, oh, wow, no, these courses, no, you are not allowed to play video games anymore, apparently. You're not allowed to have a hobby, because apparently every hobby needs to be like that. And yeah, no thanks. Please keep that to yourself. You can talk about it, go on Twitter, go on forums, go on whatever social media you want to talk about it, but keep it out of the actual games. Okay? That would be a really nice suggestion. And I think that if that happens, the whole thing with the game industry wouldn't be solved, because we also have microtransactions that are still a problem. The whole gacha deal, that falls on the microtransactions. CEOs that are just looking at short-term profits to fuel their own wallet, because that's also a thing that has been happening with some really good proof lately. They have contracts that as long as they stay above a certain threshold, they get a really good bonus. I mean, that's always been a thing, but it's gotten to the point where, hey, let's put a game full of microtransactions in, so that everyone wants to buy them, and different subject entirely before I start on a ramble on that. You also have to stuff with the workers themselves. I personally think that, well, worker issues are important. A lot of the worker issues are not a consumer's main issue. Because that is something where you have unions for, and you know what? State regulation. Those can happen. But considering... this again seems to be like a really American problem, because a lot of those things wouldn't flow where I live, so... so seems like the state of what America is in is at the root of a lot of the problems in the video game industry at the moment, I think. Which is kind of ironic, considering they also are like the ones that are screaming the loudest about everything needing to change. Change starts with yourself, you know. Never figures I would say that, but yeah, but that's the ramble for this time. It's over 30 minutes at the moment. But yeah, let me know what you think about this in the comments. Keep it nice. Don't go and harass anyone that disagrees with you. Don't go harass Melissa Mercante. She doesn't deserve that at all for having an opinion, even though it's a shitty opinion. Oh, and saying really shitty things herself. I mean, seriously. Well, the challenge is little more than high school level. I'm not even high school. I would say a middle school level. Where, well, I don't like you say, but you say, fight me for it. Like, man, how old are you? You're an adult, right? Arguments are solved by talking, not by calling people names or by fighting over it. I doubt she ever gets to see this, but yeah, don't go harass her. Don't harass anyone. Just be some nice people. Be nice. Treat everyone with respect. And if they don't respect you back, block them. Easy. Most websites allow you to block them. So if someone disrespects you, simply block them, report them, and be done with it. Really. That is also an option. But yeah, as I said, I want everyone to get along, be nice to each other. We need more representation. We need more integration. We need more diversity, because diversity is a great thing. It just needs to be done right. And that is where the industry is lacking, because it's not being done right. So yeah, that will be it. Everyone stay safe. Sweet dreams. All your bunny. And be on your best behavior, okay? I don't want to see any of you rascals doing something stupid. Bye,